I say that nothing has happened between us.
Second.
For Gray and Luna, the rookie recently added a devastating twist. In the Monday, March 2nd, episode of the ABC drama, the rookie meets Dropout's game changer, and for one of the couples on the show, the humor serves as a pleasant counterpoint to the drama. Nolan, Nathan Fillion, meets someone from his past during that crossover. In the meantime, guest performers Tyler Ritter and Charles Michael Davis portray a doctor at the hospital with Gray's, Richard T. Jones, wife, Luna, Angel Parker, and a suspect whose innocence is established in that case, respectively. The Rookie Season 8 Episode 9 spoilers are ahead. Let's begin with the devastating. When Oliver Ashton, Davis, a new physician at the hospital, walks in with Luna, Gray notices right away how well they get along. Even worse, he discovers a rose and men's sunglasses as he enters Luna's vehicle to take it to the mechanic. When he tells Nolan about it, the police assures him that it has no significance. But to Gray, it seems like something. He is told by Nolan that he can either snoop or talk to his wife, and he suggests the former. When Gray visits the hospital to ostensibly do that over lunch, she first sees Oliver and Luna laughing together before becoming incredibly attached to a few patients. Oliver is asked about the sunglasses by Gray as he works on them. Gray tells him he found them in the hallway after the doctor claims they are his. Later, as they are leaving the hospital, Gray inquires as to if there is a problem between her and Oliver, and Luna wonders if he is alright. She does feel something for him, but she first seems a little defensive when he shares the upshot he discovered, claiming nothing has transpired. She emphasizes that she wasn't searching for it and that she didn't think about anybody else during their marriage. However, in the last year, her life has changed as a result of finishing school and landing a job. She admits that she is drawn to Oliver, but in her opinion, she might have resolved everything without him ever knowing because she had no intention of acting on it. He acknowledges, "I do know, it's breaking my heart." Oliver leaves because she is unable to tell him right away that whatever she is feeling is over for him. Then, from the hotel bar where he will be staying, Gray calls Nolan to inform him that he and Luna are in a difficult situation and that he is unsure about their future. After taking some time to appreciate that Jenna Dewan's Bailey is back from Washington, D.C., Nolan goes to join him. Regarding the Game Changer crossover, Zach Oyama, Jacob Wysocki, Vic Michaelis, Sam Reich, and Anna Garcia made a cameo when the two men who were at the scene robbed them at gunpoint. As they make their statements to Nolan and Selena, Lee Seth Chavez, they also heavily lean into the improv humor. However, a familiar face, Beckett Hawley, the child whose drone Nyla, Mikia Cox, used when Oscar, Matthew Glave, abducted Nolan in the season 7 finale, helps them solve the crime. After he and his mother went to Los Angeles so she could work as a hand model, he found a part-time job with them. Mark's girlfriend verifies his alibi, and he is the one who discovers Mark's, Ritter, wallet on the scene. Additionally, he is the one who shows Nolan the text that solves the case after everyone leaves him at the police station when he drives them there for the lineup. Sam unintentionally texts him, not the robbers, that they weren't intended to steal anything for real. When Nolan interrogates Sam, he reveals that he was attempting to hire actors to portray robbers for a stunt for the show and unintentionally obtained actual thieves. Additionally, Tim, Eric Winter, is still working on his relationship with his mother, and Lucy, Melissa O'Neill, is encouraging him to make amends as his mother frequently texts their group chat. He muted it. The mother and son ultimately had a lengthy phone call. Not only about that but also about Lucy, his work, and his early recollections. Oh, and Lucy is currently in a group chat with two people who have old Tim pictures, his mother and his sister. Yes, he will locate his prom attire in powder blue for her. I have a grievance against the rookie. However, we must first discuss the ridiculousness of this crossover scenario and a few odd examples, such as a pair who are bonded to one another. Nobody can ever claim that this series lacks a sense of humor. Poor people's issues in every situation. The robber's angle was the most intriguing, and the rookie juggled. More than half of the country is struggling with debt. If it's not medical debt, it's all those damn student loans and the like. Imagine being accepted to Stanford, one of the top universities in the nation, and then having to turn to armed robbery to pay off all of your debt. You may attend an Ivy League school, earn a degree in something really amazing, and yet live paycheck to paycheck for half of your life in an attempt to pay off a mountain of debt. America is magnificent, isn't it? The revelation that Maeve, the grandmother, was the one with the rap sheet who encouraged her granddaughter and her partner to stick up the home was the most intriguing aspect. The conclusion was also quite depressing. As well. However, she at least parted ways with the other person. I also thought Miles did a great job during his grilling. Miles and Harper are the perfect pair. It's not really enjoyable to see our dynamic pair of Harper and Lopez apart, and the relegation might be awful for Harper. After all, they resemble Cagney and Lacey in the 21st century. I can't say enough good things about Bradford and Nolan, but Harper has always been a great mentor and TO. And that's just being honest. It was hilarious how Harper silenced them both when they offered advice on how to deal with Miles. Harper has the ability to help Miles become the police officer we all know he can be. Although she stopped him from referring to her as Boot, her strategy of pretending to be Boot for the day was an excellent one. She was able to see the raw material there for him as a police officer who might one day be training someone else. Additionally, Miles' confidence was completely destroyed following all of his previous problems. An insecure police officer who constantly doubts his actions puts himself, his partner, and the public at peril. It seemed like we were getting glimpses of Miles's acting prowess with Harper, and I'm genuinely excited for them to collaborate more. He only needs some rounding out because he has all the necessary abilities to be an excellent police officer. Harper is able to assist him. And I will shout from the rooftops how much I adore the Gila/Lopez family. The party that Angela, James, and Wesley threw for her was the cutest, and considering they were all exhausted parents and everything, I laughed when they finished in an hour. The crossover was what it was. Since I have no knowledge of Dropout or Game Changer, this was not the kind of crossover that would be helpful to me. I apologize to anyone who are searching for further information. Depending on the situation and when they occurred, the improv moments may be both annoying and entertaining. A few of the lineup jokes were funny. However, I wasn't particularly fond of it for the most part. Dash's return was more fun, and I hope he stays and either gets into some trouble or even helps Nolan out. In that sense, the child is good. Fun group chat. Bless her heart, despite her best efforts, Lucy is unable to keep their personal and professional lives apart. However, I could see why she felt caught between Tim and his mother. Even yet, I adored Tim's direct statement that she shouldn't be in the midst. It's refreshing that he was able to convey that it's not her problem without one of those annoying plot twists in which one or both parties use Lucy, use her as a buffer, or do something else to communicate with each other. Lucy's increased sense of kinship with Tim's family is good. She even has a private group chat with his mother and sister. Furthermore, I like that those connections are not limited to her relationship with Tim. That's significant, but since we don't learn much about Lucy and her own family, it also somewhat closes a gap. It's difficult not to think of family and her current feelings after listening to her discuss her parents while she and Nyla were undercover. Both personally and professionally, she is in a terrific place. However, it was encouraging to learn that Tim did, in fact, call his mother back and have in-depth discussions regarding the matter at hand. They were able to have conversations that they had just avoided throughout the years because Lucy, in a sense, brought them closer. I'm glad Tim's mother is finally beginning to cultivate the relationship with him that she has always desired because we already know that's what she wanted. Chinford is truly living in their own time. However, Bylon was indeed there. By the way, by discussing why Bailey is bothersome or why Bylon ought to give it up already, we're pounding a blasted horse into oblivion. It doesn't require repetition. However, it made natural that they, rather than Luna and Gray, would be the ones to witness a marriage suffer a devastating blow and begin to falter. The whole Luna and Gray thing simply keeps getting worse. Every time we see Luna at that fucking hospital, she's getting too close to people and laughing with some attractive doctor. She now has the attractive Charles Michael Davis portraying one of her co-workers. Yes, I'm inclined to call him Marcel. She also feels something for him. I dislike Luna's emotional affair. Luna was going to keep quiet about her casual emotional affair at work since she thought it was something she needed to work through. However, the chemistry between her and Oliver was seen to people in a very distant galaxy. She also left a freaking flower in her car along with his glasses. That is not just insulting but also careless. When you're moving like you're having a full-fledged affair, how can you try to work things out without informing your husband about it? It never appeared like Luna would be the kind to have an emotional affair and harm Gray in this way, nor did she ever appear to be so conceited and self-centered. She was unable to reassure him and didn't even appear to be apologetic about her feelings. She performed the thing where she threw objects at him and deflected at one of their final tense moments. I'm not sure who this Luna is, but I don't like it. Furthermore, they had no justification for interfering with such a stable relationship. Rookie fanatics, it's your turn. Please share your opinions below.